Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Junaid Bostan knocks out Jack Martin in the 8th round, and when I say knocks him out, it took some doing, because Jack Martin, what a tough guy, what a great chin. I mean, Bostan closed the show with this sort of like screw shot uppercut. It was a left, actually, left uppercut. He switch hit all night, Bostan, and he does that quite frequently. But he managed to land it in the 8th round, and Martin sort of froze and staggered to one side and then fell. And it was one of those delayed reaction knockdowns. He was almost sort of half out on his feet. And then he got up and the referee wisely stopped it instantly. But it was, I got a feel for Martin because, you know, he's a Southern area, these are 154 pounders, by the way, Southern area super welterweight champ. He came in against this young kid. Martin's 29, Boston's only 22, and Bostan clearly is a couple of leagues in terms of talent ahead of Jack Martin, and he looked bigger. He just looked like a weight division bigger. He looks huge for the weight, but then I suppose if you're young, you lose the weight, easier. But yeah, he definitely got the job done, and he dominated for the most part. I mean, he's now got 9 wins with 7 KOs, no draws, no defeats, and he actually unanimously decisioned an undefeated fighter called Gordy Russ, and that was over in America in Glendale back end of last year. I think it was December last year. He got an 8-round decision, and he won most of the rounds, but he didn't look like any kind of world beater. Tonight, he showed so much skill. I mean, he's got every punch in the book. Like I say, switch hits a lot. He used the ring a lot, and at times, he was running. He was running for little pockets. But Martin, from the word go, I mean, there was a big right cross landed on Martin in about the first 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and it shook him, and he was shuddering. And he moved backwards, he staggered backwards, and Bostan put it on him. But Martin wasn't going anywhere. He soaked it all up, and never stopped trying to win, never stopped coming forward. But Bostan just had too much skill, too much talent for him, too much energy. He was, like I say, he was even the bigger man. He was countering beautifully. There was some very good body work in there. Probably not enough of it. You know me. I always like to see a lot of body work from the word go. But he was definitely pinging Martin, from all angles and with all sorts of punches. And Martin, high guard, his elbows were a little bit out, which is probably why he got caught with some body punches. But he was moving forward constantly, trying to cut off the ring, trying to let his hands go. He did land the odd big right-hander. And certainly in the 5th round was the only round I gave Martin, because I felt that Bostan sort of took it off a little bit, wasn't really doing enough work, and Martin did land a couple. He only one really good right hand, but he did get some work done. Finally, you thought, I wonder if is the tide turning a little bit. This was a 10-rounder. It was for something called the Silver Commonwealth Super Welterweight title. What is that? Either it's a Commonwealth title or it's not. The Commonwealth ruling body seems to have gone down the path of all this, these crap belts that the alphabet soup boys dish out. This silver title was completely meaningless. What wasn't meaningless is that this was an eliminator for the English title, which is a proper belt. And as I say, Martin held the area level, the area belt as well. I don't know whether Bostan picks that up or not. But Martin came in, with 9 wins and 1 defeat, and he's been in a couple of real barn burners against CJ Challenger. That was a fantastic fight. Challenger was, I think, undefeated in 14 fights, and Martin stopped him. So he's a tough guy who grinds you down. Doesn't have one-punch power at all, but he grinds you down, and he was constantly trying to do that to Bostan. Like I say, he won the 5th, but after that, normal service was resumed. Bostan got back on it. He did hurt Martin to the body. The ref said that there were some low punches in there. At one point, Martin hit the floor from a body punch, and the ref said, no, that was low. Borderline. I'll have to have another look at it, to be honest with you. But I think Bostan can consider himself a little bit unlucky not to have had that called. And then he went straight back to the body, but Martin had, tensed himself up. He was still moving forward, still looking for the win, looking to put pressure on, looking to cut the ring off, forcing Bostan to work. But Bostan he's just too talented. It's quite simple. Quite simply, you had one guy in there who was much more talented than the other guy. And if Bostan was a pretender and not a potential contender, I think the likes of Jack Martin would have found him out. But it was rather effortless. I mean, he's only 22, this kid, and he's got some real beautiful moves, really natural talents, marvellous. So I'm looking forward to seeing much more of him, and certainly he deserves a shot at the English title now. He's had 9 fights with 7 KOs. I don't see any reason why he can't go for the English. He's being brought along very, very well. Jack Martin, nothing to be ashamed of at all. Gave his everything. That's all anyone can ever do. Probably drop back down to area level, but don't be surprised to see him in an English title fight further down the line, because this is a good, tough, honest domestic pro, and he won my respect, that's for sure. They both did. And one last thing about Junaid Bostan. Well done, young man, on the attire and the colours on the waistband. If you know, you know. All right. Well done. Anyway, if you like that fight, or if you've got anything to say about it, leave your comments below. And looking forward to reading them. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and please hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Much appreciated. I will speak to you later. Bye for now.